After so many failed votes, it's clear we need to try something different. What the Senate is doing isn't working for either party and isn't working for the American people. Democrats have said we must address the health care crisis, but Republicans have repeatedly said they won't negotiate to lower the health care costs until the government reopens. So let's find a path to honor both positions. Democrats would like to see an end to this shutdown, and we want to respect Leader Thun's desire not to negotiate on ACA until after the government reopens. Therefore, we'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously, and then have the opportunity to start negotiating longer-term solutions to health care costs. Let's do all three. I've spoken with my caucus, and Democrats are offering a very simple compromise. Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability. Leader Thun just needs to add a clean one-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR so that we can immediately address rising health care costs. That's not a negotiation. It's an extension of current law, something we do all the time around here, as we all know. But we also offer this. Let's create a bipartisan committee that will continue negotiations after the government reopens on reforms, ahead of next year's enrollment period, to provide long-term certainty that health care costs will be more affordable. This proposal reopens the government and ensures working families who are shopping right now for their health care get certainty and financial relief. While open enrollment has begun, insurers can update their rates after we pass a simple extension of the tax credits.
Pause. This man is criminal. He's criminal because they've already told you to do that. They told you, the Republicans been said to extend it. You know what I'm saying? And we can negotiate about it later. At least open the government and then we negotiate it. But now they're doing a slight compromise. Oh, we want to extend it for a year. How about you slightly extend it so everybody can get paid, everybody get their SNAP benefits, you can get your premiums for the open enrollment. I don't see why y'all closed the government knowing open enrollment was going to come. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew that was going to become a problem. But now they're seeing that it's becoming a backfire on the Democratic Party. So now they're stating, oh, all they have to do now is open the government and extend the AMCA, the AMA, Affordable Care Act, the ACA, and extend that for a year. Okay, cool. You extend that for a year, but then we're back here a year later saying the same thing. You close the government down around the same time, and then this is the excuse to get it done. And then you got to think about it too. Positions might change because it's a midterm election. So I don't know if I don't even know if the other party would even want that. They probably just wants to open the government back up and keep negotiating while the government's open back up instead of afford an extension. Does that make sense? Because I believe they can do either one of two things. Three things. They can either keep the government closed, they can extend it like what they want to do right now for ACA, Affordable Care Act, for another year with the same terms it was originally, or they can just negotiate while opening the government, and you don't have to wait that whole year. You get what I'm saying? And I would say negotiate it, but for the people that have been suffering due to the fact that they didn't vote to open the government sooner, I will say that they're gonna cause some type of market crash, where people are now got to pull out their retirement and sell shares off of companies just to keep afloat. Which I know that's what they had to do. It just makes sense, right? So this guy's criminal. Let me continue.
With this approach, we do not negotiate health care in the shutdown, as Leader Thun has maintained he wishes, and the American people get the tax credit extension they want. That is what many of our Republican colleagues have floated over the last 6 weeks as a compromise: a one-year tax credit extension and reforms to the credit beyond that. we will agree with the Republican request not to start negotiations until after the government reopens. All Republicans have to do is say yes to extend current law for 1 year. It makes sense. And since what we're proposing is only a simple extension of current law, the Senate could do this within a few hours.
Cool.
This is a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with health care affordability, and begins a process of negotiating reforms to the ACA tax credits for the future. Now, the ball is in the Republicans' court. We need Republicans to just say yes. I yield to Senator Peters.
But the thing is with that, though, it's like what you're doing instead, it's kind of like you guys got to understand the game, right? Because the game is basically it's basically like we have the new CR, whatever, the bill, the budget. We got to pass it. They said, no, we want all this that we had prior into it, right? And that's fine. That's what you want. That's what you're going to get. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what they're not going to give because they did a filibuster that stops them. Now the minority can vote to pause the budgeting bill, which will close the government. And people will blame Trump, but it's not really Trump's fault. He can't open it back up. You know, it's not even in his hands to open it up yet, right? So then you got the next thing because, you know, they have control of it. And they kept saying no, right? And that's the problem. You can't keep saying no because who suffers with the no is all the federal employees, and that's everybody. So think anybody that helps the government any type of way are federal employees or get money from the feds, like government contracts, contracts to help people in prison, you know, like the haircuts, shirts, stuff everything, like all those government contracts, they pause too. Nobody gets nothing. You know what I'm saying? Section 8, EBT benefits, they all don't get nothing because that's where it's all kind of stemming from the feds. Because it's like the money's not like in motion at all. So they could have been open this, but I feel like the Democrats waited so late. They're like, okay, we waited a month. The government employees are broke by a month, and then let's start the next month. There's only 7 days in of the EBT being cut off, and then now you got the open enrollment, and it's like now they're like, let's open it back up, bro. Y'all did this at the wrong time. Y'all should have did this in June or something, for real, or whatever time it was best for you. But it's like to shut the government down, and y'all couldn't negotiate. So maybe hopefully the Republicans open it, but at the end of the day, they might see this as a flaw because the midterms coming up. You see, all this shit is so political that it's like they don't mind who suffers in a way. It's because it's just like this gonna last past your hurt type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like these bills gonna be in order past you not being able to feed your kids for 5 days or 10 days. You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't get hurt or, you know, starve to death. Like these gonna be the rules forever, and then you got people trafficking millions or hundreds of millions to billions of dollars within the company, and nobody knows where it's going. So it's a pretty sticky situation, I would assume. But you know, I think we can come to a mutual agreement now. I'd say if they come back with a rebuttal, because that's what's about making the deal. You just put something on the table that they already been asking for. They've really been asking not even just for an extension to negotiation, but to open the government. So it's like, we're not promising a year, but we are negotiating as the government opens so everybody can eat. And that was really the simplest part of it right there. The Republicans wanted them to, okay, Trump even said, let's just negotiate while the government's open. Let's not hold these people, you know, in the middle. And they're like, nah, we won't. Now they're saying, okay, we want to extend what we currently have for 1 more year. And it's not a bad deal, but at the same time, it's like, bro, why can't you just talk about, because now you got to push that back. That means you won't talk about it. And then again, it's not the right time. It's not the best time because people are actually about to go get, sooner or later, you know, somebody's going to be coming knocking at your door. And that's what you got to think about it. Sooner or later, somebody's going to come there and seem like, hey, the bill's going up, bro. It ain't going to be cheap no more. So it's now or later. So if y'all think this is going to be sweet a year from now, okay, cool. Y'all just pushing back the inevitable at the end of the day. But it's like, you gotta change shit up. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to make sure that, okay, you got people that are changing action, like power, action of power, like who's going to be in chair, because it's going to be the midterm election next year. So by this time, the midterm election going to be gone. Around this time, at the same time next year, we'll be figuring out who's replacing who. You get what I'm saying? Who's getting elected for other, like, longer, like Governor Prister, he's going to be running for governor again in Illinois, right? Shit like that. So maybe they don't want to extend it another year. So see, they pushing it back so far. They're like, nah, we don't want to extend another year. We just want to negotiate while the government's open. So let's just do that. And then now it's just, and it's a what if, and that's why they try to put it in and write it as if, oh, they can do it right now in 2 hours. If this is on the Senate's desk, they can do it today. Like, now the ball's in their field. Well, you just took like a month and a half to give them a deal. You know what I'm saying? To even offer something that is, you were stuck on and stern on a point, and now like a month, damn near a month and a half later, you're now able to like, hey, we'll make a deal with you. Let's just extend it. You should have said that from the get go as a negotiating table anyway. Now you didn't made your people suffer so hard, and you're damn near fucking up the economy for everybody because you just couldn't think of this sooner. Why aren't y'all thinking? Y'all have no leaders. One of y'all had to come up and be like, yo, this not gonna fly, bro. We gotta come up with a deal. Y'all messing up the economy. Type shit. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that in the comments section. It's your boy AngeloSavage. Let's go. Peace.